And it was on this day, June 27th, 2022, that I am reviewing my Pride. The event. Not my Pride. I mean, you know, I have Pride, but like, we're reviewing the event. So, I went to Pride yesterday in Denver, which back like a bunch of years ago was the third largest Pride. I don't know if this Pride was the third largest Pride. It did have a lot of people, but I wouldn't say it was like New York crowded. Especially like where I was in the parade, which I was towards the end. We'll get into that when I summarize my Pride. But even though I was towards the end of the parade, it still never really got that crowded where I was. You could like get up to the front bar of the parade easily. So, I don't know. I feel like from videos and stuff, comparatively, it doesn't seem that crowded. The vendors, though, were crowded. The vendors were crowded, but don't know. I alluded to it before, but basically in this video, I'm going to be just talking about my schedule throughout yesterday and just sum up like what I liked about it. Let's get into my schedule. To start off, let's start the night before. I was stressed. I don't know if I can convey how stressed I was. I did a recording of like my packing and I was trying to listen to music to like distract myself, but I was stressed. So the entire time I was like worried, especially worried about getting to Denver and walking around Denver. Just thinking about all of that and my bad experiences I had. So I was like trying to like listen to like my new gay music that I cannot stop listening to for the life of me. It's a problem to like calm down. And it kind of worked. Went to bed, actually slept. I got some hours in. Woke up at 4 in the morning. 4 in the morning to get ready, get packed, get dressed. I woke up a little bit earlier than I needed to just to like make sure I had everything. Got my water, grabbed the sunscreen, and then totally forgot to use it. Whoops. And woke up my dad and drove down to the bus station. Bus picks me up at 5 o'clock, and I sit down for my 2-hour bus ride to Denver. And I will say, the weather this last weekend was perfect. It was fantastic. So usually Colorado summer, we live in a desert. We just have a desert with mountains, and so it doesn't really look like a desert, but it's a desert. So Colorado summer is death. Like, it feels like death. But this last weekend, we had these storms come in, like rolling storms, and so they were like there and gone, there and gone. It's just cloudy all day. And it was like we got teleported into Oregon fall. And it was just really pretty out. You can tell that like the rain and everything made everything look green when it usually looks yellow. Everything looked like a nice vibrant green, and like the clouds were like pretty in the sky. And you get like occasional rain droplets like sprinkling, but never actual rain. Fantastic. So the entire bus ride, I was just watching the weather because everything looks so pretty. You can see the clouds running right over the mountains, but you can still see the mountains. It was very pretty. So that's what I did for most of my bus ride. I didn't trust myself to go to sleep, so just did that. Arrived into Denver. I mean, when I say arrived into Denver, I mean arrived to downtown Denver after driving through Denver for like 30 minutes. Eventually, you get to downtown Denver. It's a friggin' huge city, man. In my opinion, it's huge. And I had this whole debate about if I stick to my plan or if I change my plan. Because my plan was to go all the way to Union Station and then ride a bus down to Colfax, which is the street that Pride was going to take place. But on the way in, I saw that a bunch of those streets were closed and buses were having to change routes, and I didn't want to risk having like a route change lead me the wrong way. And so I decided, just on a whim in the morning, very scarily, to hop off the bus at 7 a.m. just on a random street that was like about 10 minutes walk. It was less of a walk from Union Station. So I decided we'll just hop off here and try to find whatever open place I can hide out in. because Pride didn't start until 9:30. So I was really early. There was not a later bus, so I had to leave at 4 in the morning. Otherwise I wouldn't have, but no. 7 a.m., walking around, streets are absolutely empty. I don't know if it's because of the weather or because nobody's up that early or something, but streets were empty. And I found a local Starbucks that was open, attached to a hotel, so I just kind of like pretended I was a hotel guest. Walked in, got myself a tea.
Made it to Denver. State.
Pretty much. So, yeah, I just jammed with some music, sat there drinking my tea very slowly, and was kind of like a little bit less stressed at about like 8:40, I would say. 8:40? Is that right? Maybe 8:30. I waited a long time. I want to say 8:30. I headed on over to the vendor area, which there were a bunch of closed streets in a row, so I was just like jogging down these closed streets in the middle of the street because they were closed. And I saw the fence, and I got up to the fence, and they were like, the vending area is closed until 10 p.m. or 10 p.m. 10 a.m. Oh my god, closed until 10 a.m. and the parade starts at 9:30. So just go up the street. So rather than going up the street, I saw this like granite like overview area, and so I just climbed up on the granite, found my spot, put a bag to the side, and was like, this is where I'm watching the parade.
Here it is 8:30 right now, so there's another hour before the parade starts, and I think I'm towards the end of the parade, so it's gonna be a while. But people are gathering. I'm not able to really show much, but people are slowly gathering together and like choosing their spots on where they're gonna sit. They're gathering pretty quickly too, so I just got myself set up somewhere for now. We'll see if my friends can meet up with me.
Just sat there, turned off my phone, and watched the people very slowly gather. When I was there, when I first got there, there was like maybe like 15 to 20 other people who seemed like they were there to watch Pride, and like not a lot else. So I just like sat there and waited, and you started to see them gather, and then they gathered more and more. And right as like we were starting to like have what qualified as like a crowd, my friend found me, which was awesome. So we sat down together and waited for the parade to come. They had music playing and just a lot of people like all complimenting on stuff. My friend brought these like little like gemstones you wear on your face, and so put those on.
Oh my goodness. A little bit lower this time.
Thank you so much.
Of course.
This is the most beautiful I've ever been.
I mean, you're always beautiful, you're just really beautiful.
Yeah.
First example of how you are at least 30 times more social than me.
I am so indecisive. You have no idea.
Nice.
Hate him.
Thank you. Too many hands, too many hands. Okay.
Or not enough hands.
Whatever. Whichever the two. Okay. Okay. What side is this? Oh, my parents are gonna make fun of me so much when I get home.
Absolutely. That means you did it right.
You know? Point. Well, there we go. Rainbow.
Why did my camera?
This is the second most absurd I've ever had.
Second.
I did panda face paint once.
Oh, hell yeah.
I felt very weird wearing them. I still feel weird that I wore them, but I got compliments for it, so I guess go off. I really liked Deyla's though. She had like cheetah print ones, which was very funny to me. But yeah, we just sat there, waited for the parade, and then the parade started eventually at 9:30. But when the parade started at 9:30, we were at the end of the parade. So it was like another 10 to 15 minutes before we saw anything. Maybe even 20. It was a while before we saw any part of the parade. But it started off with Dykes on Bikes, which was very awesome. Go off. Very cool. They just... It was fun.
Woo!
It was very fun. Good way to start. So, Dykes and Bikes comes by. Very fun. Oh, I'm gonna struggle remembering the order of these. What else was there? I wanted to do these in order because I have videos of each one that I want to show in this video. So this is gonna take some brain power. Hold on. I think the next group, I think I'm doing this right. I think the next group was a group called Flaggets, which is a fantastic name. A bunch of people, like, color guard kind of idea, that had, like, pride flags that were just going, and then they also had the rifles, too. So they were doing rifle tosses and stuff. That was really cool. So they were, like, just walking down like that. And then there were just some, like, groups walking for their different causes. There were a lot of ERGs, I noticed. A lot of ERGs. There was another group that came by and was doing, like, gold flag twirling, too. I don't remember the name of that group, but there was a group doing that. There was a Go Pride truck that got a lot of cheers, just because that was, like, the first, like, car we saw go by, so that got a lot of cheers. I
probably should clap my phone.
There was a horse carriage. Oh my gosh, the horses. Okay. A horse carriage came by.
Any rainbow outfits on the horses?
I will say, around Pride, there were a lot of people who dyed their dogs fur, and so there was like Pride polka dot Dalmatians and like dogs with like rainbow tails. I don't know if that's safe for dogs, but it was very funny whenever you'd see it. So, cool. I think we had our first ambulances and fire trucks come by, so that got a lot of cheers. We had, I think, the Star Wars group. The Star Wars group is after that.
That's the one you'd be in. You just flag twirling as a stormtrooper.
Oh, hell yeah!
That's pretty awesome.
what the name of the Star Wars group was. I wasn't able to read the sign. We were at the opposite side of the street from where people were showing the signs, so sometimes we couldn't read them in time. But just Star Wars group had some troopers, had some like colorful Boba Fett's, some kind of like Jedi outfits, and other various Star Wars references with like Alliance pride flags. It was very funny. So Deyla and I were a huge fan of that group. There was the Mardi Gras group, which were just dancing away. There was a very small drag group. That's something I want to talk about, is like, I was surprised by how few drag groups there were in the Pride Parade. There were very few, in my opinion. Like, I expected a lot more, I really did. But no, there was like 3 really drag groups, and not a lot of people in those groups. So I was a little surprised. I only saw like 1 person in drag walking around all the vendor area. So yeah, I was very surprised. I thought there'd be more, which is fine. I just, from what I'd seen of Pride, I thought like they're very significant to our history and to the Pride Parade. So a little surprised we did see more, but drag queens came by in this little car. I have a clip of it. So there was that. Memory. This is when I'm starting to really struggle now. There was the abs. Oh, the abs! So, am I a hockey fan? A little bit. I'm a little bit of a hockey fan. The 2 sports I like are soccer and hockey. Soccer is really my big one. I'm very excited for the World Cup this fall. I'm really excited for the World Cup this fall. But hockey's the other sport that I can actually watch and not just hate everything. Football. So, I do watch hockey, and the Avs, the Avalanche, is our local team, local-ish team, and we were cheering them when they won the World Cup, or won the Stanley Cup last night. Get got. But before the Pride Parade, the game was that night, right? So the Pride Parade was like the time to cheer. So the actual mascot was riding down the parade in skates with like a massive Avs pride flag go off. So that was fun. And then their drum line came by along with that. Recording of it, I don't think, but there were these cyclists that were like biking in circles on the way down, and it's just like the biking group. Ding 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 ding! Woo! Woo! There was also a water polo group. It wasn't actually like water polo, it was like games and sports kind of thing, but they were just wearing like swimsuit kind of outfits. Inner tube games. Cool. Have fun. cool. There was the puppy group. So there were really only 2 kink groups I saw. The puppy group and then the leather group, which had puppies in it, as you would assume.
That's fun! Go on! Do your thing!
I'm sorry, those masks.
The pop-up? I see a Demi flag. Yay, Demi! I'm that too. Among other things, but maybe a part of that. Woo! Woo! Do your thing!
Yeah.
And both of them are pretty small. I mean, the leather group was one of the larger groups, if you exclude, like, the huge ERGs. But still very small. Still, I expected more. I thought, just based on what I've seen from YouTube, I thought there'd be, like, large crowds. But no, not really. And they really didn't do much. They didn't have, like, one person, like, doing, like, some event or acting or something like that, which again is something I saw in some recordings of Pride parades. They just walked along, did their thing. So yeah, but I have recordings of both of those groups, I believe. I will say the only Demi flag I saw the entire Pride was in the leather group. I'm a little surprised. That was like the one flag I saw a few of. I saw more like polysexual flags or poly-romantic flags than I saw Demi flags. Just surprised me. It just surprised me, that's all. Already said that one. There's the abortion group. I mean, very, very, very significant after this last week. But there was a group that was talking about that was like breaking up that topic, and of course that got one of like the loudest cheers. I'm gonna say cheers in the case of that group, but got the most cheers, especially with like a lot of the signs they had. So that was very significant, and I'll talk about that later. But there's more I want to add about that. But that was a very significant group. I believe I have a recording of them. There's a little tiny Renaissance, or not Renaissance group. They were called like the High Mountain something group. But they were in costumes and like really cool outfit in general. Things that you could wear the Renaissance Fair, basically, was what I was trying to say. Very small group, but I have a recording of them. For some reason, at some point, there was a Captain America on a motorcycle that came by. I think that was the Marvel group, maybe, but I didn't recognize, like, almost the entire group. They were all in costumes. I didn't know if it was superheroes in general or Marvel specifically. Oh, the Parasol Patrol! There's the Parasol Patrol, which I freaking love. I love their concept and idea. They had these, like, rainbow parasols, but some of them were in the shape of hearts, and they were just, like, holding hearts out. And their signs said, like, protecting kids from homophobia or transphobia. And the idea is that they were, like, fight people off with the parasols, and some of them were, like, ugh. It was very funny, and they were selling a lot of those too. A lot of people were buying them, but I love that name. It's pretty cool. So there's the Parasol Patrol. There's a square dancing one. I saw that one. There's a square dancing, like, little float thing. They were dancing along. Someone came by singing Sweet Caroline, And everybody's like, ba, ba, ba. There's the Transgender Center of the Rockies. Go off. That was very awesome. I think we gave them some cheers. There were these walking condoms in pride colors. Because why not?
Those
I think I covered most everything. So after the pride parade was actually over, it was 12. So this was like a 3-hour pride parade pretty much. And we decided to go down the vendors and see what was going on. So start walking around, we find out that all the food is paid for in tickets, and the ticket lines were insane. So we spent like 3 minutes in a ticket line before we were like, we cannot do this. It is way too long, and the line isn't really a line, it's a crowd. And it's really crowded, so we started just walking around instead and just seeing like what was for sale. We went down one way, went down another way, and we found this. And it was worth every bit of $25. So, bought myself a fan. The entire time we were joking about getting me a fan. It was kind of a joke. But then I found this one. The options were fantastic. They ran out of Ace fans, they ran out of Buy fans. And I already got a trans sticker, so I was like, collect the flags. But I never really collected any flags. Everywhere I went, there were no Buy things because they were out. And then there were a few Ace things because most people just didn't have the Ace flag. Anyway, bought myself this fan. We looked at some jewelry. There was a lot of like phallic things or like anatomy related things you could buy or do. There was like cornhole, but like, you know, is painted to have insert blank here. I should be comfortable saying that word, but I'm not. I'm sorry. That's something I'll work on. But very funny, just walking around. A lot of people buying like plushies of phallic things. This is very funny. So yeah, we walk around. There's a place you could buy leather harnesses. So you saw people walking around with their like brand new package, like opening it so they could put it on. And while we were walking around, we saw that there were different concert areas. So there was like one big concert area, which is by the like majority, like the little horseshoe shape of the vendors with like all the pillars around it. There was a bunch of pillars everywhere because we were in Civic Center Park. So there's like a big concert going on there. We never went around there since there were so many people. But we walked past like a really small concert kind of area, which had, I think, like completely different people playing throughout the day. I'll get back to that one later. And then we walked past the area that had like a DJ pretty much always going, and there was like a small crowd in front, but a crowd you could probably get through to the front if you wanted to. So we saw that, and we're like, we're hungry. So since we couldn't really afford food inside the area because it was way too expensive, we left, went to McDonald's, got ourselves like $3 meals because we are cheap college students. And then she left because her mom, who went all out, by the way, I just want to say that her mom went all out. She left because she needed to go home and she was tired. So I had 5 hours. It was 2 o'clock. 4 hours. I had 4 hours to waste by myself at Pride. I was a little scared. Okay, I had this whole moment on the way, like walking back to the like park, where I was like, what the hell am I gonna do? Can I even socialize with people? I don't know if I can. I'll just sit in the grass.
Hello, this might be the last update I can do for a while. I still have this thing on my head. Ow. That hurt. I'm sitting here in just the grass randomly. My friend left because she had to go home. And, well, damn it, he's not doing it right now. But there is a guy. Did I just take a photo or something? There's a guy that I've just been like sitting here watching, and he just has all kinds of things. I never really knew what to like expect coming here. Apparently gymnastics, but I think it's really cool that there's this guy in a bear flag just doing bubbles, like a bubble wizard. And it's actually really cool, like the different designs he does with the bubbles. And it's just fascinating to watch that. So I've just been sitting here watching that. I'm not really social, but I still have several more hours to go. It's currently 2:20. That means I have 4 more hours here. So we waiting. At some point I might be able to grow the balls, like go and talk to people, but at the moment I'm just sitting here.
It's like, it's exactly like when you like see like someone doing like magic tricks in a park and like all the kids gather. It's pretty much like that. Like a lot of people were like gathering around him and like seeing him do his bubble thing. It was just really cool. So I just watched that for a while. He was just making bubbles, like sending them over towards people, doing all these like really cool designs. There's these like huge bubbles he could do that were like really big. They're like this big. Big bubbles. It was very cool. And he had a Pride D&D shirt. It looked like it fit. And he just had his stick that he was doing, and just, it's kind of like a performing art for everybody. That was just cool. So I don't know, I found that very interesting that there was like just someone like doing his thing for Pride. It was fun. So yeah. And just seeing the amount of fun people had like interacting with that. But after a while, it kind of started feeling weird that I was just sitting watching this guy for like so long. So I got up and I started walking around just to like look around, see different people. And while I was walking around, there was the ACE group. I thought it was very funny that all the ACE flags, there weren't that many people wearing ACE flags, but there was a handful. And it was very funny when I'd walk past groups of like 5 of them standing together. You can tell that they're like ACE person and then like interact. Honestly, I was tempted to walk up, but I wasn't wearing one, so I didn't. And then I did the opposite of wearing an ACE flag, and that was go watch the go-go dancers. So I went back to that DJ concert, and I was up on this like kind of balcony. It's only like 3 feet up, kind of, but it had this like massive like pillar railing. So I got up on this pillar railing thing, and I, for the first time, noticed that there were like go-go dancers on the DJ like concert floor. And I mean, like, we're talking like not even briefs. We're talking like thongs and like leather lingerie and leather harnesses, kind of dancing. And there's the crowd of people in front, and then there's like a kind of yard towards the back that you could sit in, and a lot of people were sitting in that. So honestly, I just kind of sat there and was like, well, the music will keep me awake. I was tempted to fall asleep because of the food, like, makes me sleepy. So I was tempted to fall asleep, so the music would keep me awake. So I just sat there watching the different people in the yard watching the go-go dancers dance. And I saw more people that were like, had their like one talent or skill that they were just like showing off and doing and teaching people. So there were some people doing like showing partner yoga poses to other people and like teaching them how to do handstands. There was someone who had those kind of, you know how, maybe you don't, but there's this yo-yo kind of skill or art you can do where you like swing it around and like tangle it up, and then you can untangle it and like do all these moves with it. There was someone pretty much doing that, but with like 2 rainbow like fluffy pride balls, and was like spinning them around and then tangling them up. And it was just a lot of the same moves that you get from that yo-yo art. So that was really cool, and it was just doing that for people, and then like would teach how. And similarly, there was someone doing like the cloths kind of dancing, where you just have like claws that kind of have a handle, but they're not really flags. You just hold the cloth and you go. So there was someone doing that. And one of the go-go dancers was also doing that, which is very cool. So there's that. So I'm just watching people like do those, and then watching different people who were like me and were like introverted and didn't know what to do with themselves, like sitting down somewhere, and then like people coming up and being like, hi, and just chatting. It's very cool. And also just seeing people like queer parents with their kids. Fantastic to see. Makes me very happy. So yeah, that's just kind of people watching. But at one point I was like, I'm at Pride. I'm at Pride. This is the place I should feel the most okay with myself. Right? Right? So I was like, you know what? Frick it. Let's go up front. So I went right up to like the very front by the concert stage. I didn't go right in front of it. I was kind of off to the side, but front bar kind of thing. And just like watching the different people dance and wave flags. It's just a lot of people like waving flags to the DJ beat. And then just watching the dancers just chill. Like they were just being themselves and just like jamming. And I found that I really liked the energy that was going on there and just seeing everybody enjoy themselves. So it's very nice. So, you know, it's very interesting and a new experience for me, or a replacement experience for me that helped me realize, okay, actually, I can see why people like this. Because before I wouldn't have understood. So there's that. It was also weird when people would start talking to me and I cannot hear you. And we're right next to the DJ. I cannot hear you. But they would try to talk to me and like point at my trans sticker and be like, yeah. I was like, okay. I got the fan out and they were like, oh, that's a whole ass fan. I was like, yes, it is a whole ass fan. Oh, that's one of the very funny things about the DJ though. The DJ would sometimes do this like boom, 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 like bass beat, not that fast, but like a really like heavy bass beat, and everybody with the flag, which is a lot of people, would go to the beat. It's really funny. It sounds like one of these. I bet that sounds absolutely terrible. I'm sorry, but just one of these sounds like 10 people clapping, and when you have like 15 of these like all thwarping at the same time, it sounds really fun. So that was fun. But yeah, I just stood in that crowd for 3.5 hours. Yeah, I pretty much spent like 3 hours just like in the middle of the dance crowd, kind of standing there. I kind of felt a little weird about it. Sometimes I would like sway or like just fan people. I was just fanning people a lot because it was hot. So yeah, I spent 3 hours just sitting watching the go-go dancers. That was the mood, and it kind of worked. And honestly, it was probably my favorite part in the end when I think back on it. It was just fun, and it was the time that I got to kind of like just soak in, like, first of all, the variety of ages that were at Pride. It was just like everybody coming together. So, you know, got to soak that in, and also just got to see people just be so like next level, just comfortable and happy with themselves. And so it felt great. At some point, the person who was like leading the DJ party came up and was doing like a speech kind of thing, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, someone else said he for him. He was talking about how women took a huge hit in their rights this week and how much it mattered, and everybody was like, boo! I mean loud. Like that, again, that was like one of the louder things that people spoke about. And, you know, he went on in his speech like, this really matters to us and your vote matters, and everyone was like, yeah. So again, just seeing everybody like together on that topic was also quite the thing to see. And again, you can tell like a lot of people, almost everybody there felt really strongly on that topic. So I just wanted to add that to the part of the parade that was doing that at the at the concert, you could tell everybody there was really loud about it. And so it's really nice to know, hey, there are people there who will speak out against these things, which, because we need it. So, very good. Decided that it was nearing time to go, but I wanted to see one more cool thing before I left. So, wandered around looking for a cool thing, and I found what I want to say is a, like, Mexican-style brass drum band. I don't know what they identify as a genre, but that was the impression I got. I was just listening to them with the tuba and the drums for a while, and I was like, all right, now we can go. So I left. And I tried to stick to, like, groups of, like, people that, like, had rainbows and stuff on the way out, because, again, I feel a little, just a tiny bit iffy walking around Denver, just a tiny bit. So I was trying to stick to those groups. So, took the tram. On my way home, I'm on my way to get picked up to go home. My battery is running low, so I'm a little worried. But, that dance party area was a lot of fun. Like, a lot of fun. I spent most of my time there for like 4 or 5 hours. And I saw, like, I want to say Mexican kind of marching brass band play, and that was cool. And I wandered around a little bit, but yeah, I'm on my way home now. Youth discount is cheap. I'm telling you, get your tickets in youth because they are cheap. 90 cents to ride all the way down to Sky Ridge, which is a ways away. And then my mom picked me up.
I'm about to get picked up in the next few minutes. Mission success on our way home. I will say, I wish I got better recordings at dance party. All my recordings are trash. But that was really fun.
It's pretty chill. And I saw people leaving for the Avs game, like, as they were, like, getting off the tram past me. So, yeah. And there were some people with flags on the tram, so I didn't feel, like, weird. I was kind of going incognito, like, I took off all of the things that would identify me, just in case. But, no, there were people sitting next to me on the train that still had their flags out, so a lot of people are a little bit less scared and paranoid than I am. Lesson of the day. I am paranoid. But yeah. This is a rant. I'm probably going to cut a lot of it out. I'm going to be very blunt about that. But it's fun. It's fun. It's fun. And I'd love to do it again. Hopefully I will walk in the parade next year. I had the option this year, but I decided not to. But I can walk in the parade next year and just hang out some more. Yay, Pride! It was very fun. On that note, that's all I had to say. Pride is very fun, even if you're an introvert like me and terrified of crowds. Honestly, it really isn't that bad. And if you need space, there is plenty of space. For the Pride I went to, there's plenty of space for you, even if you figure it'd be, like, very, like, crowd-based. No, there's places you can just hide out by yourself, and perfectly fine. So, just go. And you'll find out along the way, like, if you have, like, any misleading expectations, like I did. Bye-bye.